Welcome to the Jungle Book. It's me. Join me for a new series where we explore Rudyard Kipling's timeless stories of love, loss and life in the jungle. Our first story is The Singing Bird. The narcissus was in full bloom, and the night was warm with the smell of wet leaves and the hum of insects. Mowgli sat by the lake with Baloo and Bagheera. They had just come from a long hunt, and both were busy licking their chops. Mowgli, though, couldn't eat his fill. He wasn't hungry. Instead, he was listening to the trees. Every now and then he would stop and listen intently. Then he would smile. "What are you hearing, little frog?" Bagheera asked. "Nothing," said Mowgli. "I was only thinking how glad I am that there is such music in the jungle." "Music," said Bagheera, confused. There was no sound but the hum of insects. Even Baloo scratched his head. "What music? There's nothing but the waterfall and that silly old stork down by the reeds." "No, you don't hear it," said Mowgli, "but I do. That's why I am glad." And he turned back to the trees, which rustled softly in the evening breeze. Mowgli loved living in the jungle. He loved the feel of the sun on his skin, the taste of sweet berries and honey, and the company of his animal friends. But most of all, he loved the singing of the jungle. When he was sad, the singing soothed him. When he was happy, it made him even happier. And when he was scared, it gave him strength. The singing was everywhere. It came from the birds in the trees, the bees in the flowers, the wind in the leaves, and even the rocks and streams. The jungle sang in many voices, and they all wove together into one grand symphony. But one day, Mowgli heard a new voice in the jungle, and it was a sad one. It was the song of a caged bird. It came from the home of man, deep in the quiet of the night. The man-cub couldn't sleep. He could hear the other animals settling down for the night, but there was this sound, plaintive and sweet, that tugged at his heartstrings. So he got up and went to find its source. He crept through the tall grass until he reached the edge of the village, and there, perched on the roof of a hut, was a small bird with bright blue feathers. It was no bigger than Mowgli's hand, and it was singing a sad song as it hopped from foot to foot inside its cage. "Why are you so sad?" Mowgli asked. The bird looked at him with big, dark eyes. "Oh, little brother," she said, "how can I not be sad? I used to fly free in the jungle, but now I am trapped in this cage. All I have is this tree and the sky above me. How can I be anything but sad?" "You are right," said Mowgli. "It must be very hard to be stuck in a cage like this, especially when you used to be free." The bird nodded sadly. "It's so hard to remember what it feels like to fly now. I used to soar above the trees and swim with the clouds. I could see the whole jungle from up there, and I could sing my songs and never fear that someone would hear me. Now I can barely hop from foot to foot, and when I try to sing, my song is snatched away before I can make a sound." "Don't you have any friends here?" Mowgli asked. The bird shook her head. "The people who live here don't want to be my friend. They keep me here because they say I'm pretty and my song is sweet, but they don't want to set me free." "That's not right," Mowgli said, feeling angry. "You should be free to roam the jungle and sing your songs. It isn't right to keep you here." The bird tilted her head. "Do you really think so? Do you think my song is worth more than my freedom?" "Of course," said Mowgli. "Your song makes the jungle richer. Why would you trade it for freedom?" The bird looked down at her feet. "But Mowgli," she said softly, "that is exactly what I'm doing. I'm trading my song for my freedom." Mowgli frowned. "What do you mean?" "This cage is heavy, but I have grown used to it," the bird said, "and I know that if I leave, I will never find my way back to the jungle. These people keep me safe. They give me food and water and a soft bed to sleep on. I have everything I need here. I don't want to go back." "Are you sure?" Mowgli asked softly. "Because you don't want to sing any more." The bird nodded slowly. "My song is a part of me, but it doesn't define me. I am more than my song, and I have a right to decide what I want to do with my life." She looked up at Mowgli, her eyes shining with determination. "Thank you for listening, little brother. Now you must go. It's not safe for you to be here." "But you're not safe either," Mowgli protested. "You should come live in the jungle. We will take care of you." "No, I want to stay here," the bird said firmly. "I'm sorry, little brother, but you must go now." As soon as he reached the safety of the trees, Mowgli called for Baloo and Bagheera. "Come quickly," he said urgently. "We have to help our friend." The panther and the bear exchanged glances, but they didn't need to ask any questions. They knew that whatever the problem was, Mowgli wouldn't call them unless it was serious. So they followed him back to the village. When they got there, they saw the villagers gathered in front of the hut where the bird lived. They were talking in hushed tones and pointing at the cage. "What's going on?" Bagheera asked a passing villager. The bird has stopped singing," the man said, his voice filled with awe. "She hasn't made a sound all night. We've never heard anything like it. Her song was so beautiful, but now it's gone." "They're right," Baloo added. "Her song was like honey, sweet and thick. It made the jungle feel richer and warmer." "It did, didn't it?" a voice said from above them. Mowgli and the others looked up to see the bird standing on the roof, looking down at them. "I haven't sung tonight," she said, "because I wanted to show you something." She spread her wings and leaped into the air. For a moment she hung suspended in mid-air. Then she began to fall. But instead of hitting the ground, she soared into the night sky, higher and higher, until she was just a speck against the stars. "I told you I could fly," she said, her voice echoing in the night. "I told you I didn't need your help." As she flew, she began to sing. Her song was like nothing they had ever heard before. It was powerful and strong, yet sweet and gentle. It echoed through the trees and over the hills, carrying with it the message that she was free. Mowgli, Baloo, and Bagheera stood and watched until she was out of sight. "She was right," Bagheera said finally. "She didn't need our help." "And she didn't want our friendship," Baloo added sadly. "No," said Mowgli. "She just wanted to be free." The three friends turned and walked away. They didn't speak until they were deep in the jungle, and then Baloo broke the silence. "I thought we could help her, but maybe we couldn't," he said, his voice heavy with sadness. "We couldn't," Mowgli agreed, "but that doesn't mean we didn't try." He stopped and looked up at the canopy above him. "Besides," he said, "her song is still in the jungle. It may be a little quieter now, but it's still there." "And that," said Bagheera, "is louder than any cage." From the Jungle Book, The Singing Bird, Joy is Louder Than Cages. To listen to more Jungle Book stories, check out the playlist, and don't forget to subscribe.